What's up, guys? We are back with another episode with another Tucson High Badger. I got to start recking more of you guys in because freaking Tucson High is my home. I'll let you introduce yourself. Go for it. Another killer wrestler.
My name is Corral, and I've been wrestling at Tucson High for 4 years. As a freshman, I came in wrestling, weighing super heavy, never been an athlete.
How much do you weigh?
Oh, man, my freshman year, I came in and I stepped on the scale at first time when my coach pulled me aside, and I ended up weighing 270 pounds.
270?
270.
So did you wrestle heavyweight your freshman year?
No, I actually ended up losing a ton of weight in the preseason. I wrestled 215 JV, of course.
Yeah.
And, man, in my mind, it was the worst.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, I have done no sports, nothing athletic-wise.
So you've never even done sports, and you decided to do wrestling.
Yeah, and it all.
Dog, there's not many people in the world that would ever do that. Just to kind of, not to throw anyone out under the bus. Like I have a couple homies that are on my baseball team right now when I'm coaching. They're like, yeah, they're like athletes for their whole life. They stepped into the wrestling room for 5 minutes basically and quit.
Oh, I mean.
So to do what you did, that's awesome.
Without saying, like, there were so many bumps in the road, especially that first year, and
yeah,
I had wanted to quit so many times, and I was on the verge. But every single day, I'd go to school, I'd have PE in the morning, and Coach Debo being the PE teacher every day.
Yeah.
Hey, am I gonna see you at practice today?
Oh,
and
shoot.
I couldn't look him in the eyes and say no, I'm done. So I was like, yeah, I'll be there. And that first year, man, in my mind, it was the absolute worst thing in the world. I had never done anything like that up until that point, and all I wanted to do was go home, eat, play video games,
How many times did you win your first year?
I didn't win a single match my first year.
Oh, shoot, man.
I won absolutely no matches, and it was first looking back now, it's like something I could talk about, but during that, it was one of those things where you could see it sometimes, but I didn't really care. It didn't bother me because I was just doing it so I could lose weight because I was getting big enough to where I was like, okay,
no, it's like I need to do something.
I got to do something. I got to get my weight down.
Yeah.
Because, almost weighing 300 pounds is terrible.
Oh no, man, that's.
And then first getting into the weight room that first year, I could barely. I wouldn't even bench getting in the weight room. I couldn't do a push. It was the most reality, the biggest reality check I've ever had at that point.
You think it's just because it was high school and you kind of see people that, you're in a bigger crowd now, so you kind of stick out a little bit more, or is just something where you finally hit you hey, I got to do something now if I want to live a decent life?
It was one of the things where it's because I've always wanted the glory. Even growing up, I've always wanted glory, all this, being that guy. But it's I never had worked for anything up until that point.
Yeah.
I thought it'd come to me, just happen naturally. I just, sit by and it would just happen. So coming in and...
So you kind of learn, not saying you did it before, you kind of learn, you had to learn how to work hard too then in a sense.
Oh, 100% I learned how to work hard. And there was times where it was getting in that first restroom, it's hot, the coaches are intense. It's what am I doing? Even I was thinking, there was so many times that year where it's there's no way I can keep going.
Yeah.
But
let me tell you this, I think he can freaking apply to this. Which room is hotter, Sunnyside or Tucson High?
I think Sunnyside's hotter.
Yeah.
Because they absolutely...
Bro, I've been in that room for 10 years, and I've stepped in for the first time when I did some stuff over there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good never being in this room again. Yeah.
But, so I get to that first year, right? I'm down to 215 pounds, and I'm still, talking to my coaches, what's the plan next year? I take the summer off, because I'm still not invested in it. I'm just doing it to do it.
Did you gain weight over the summer taking that time off?
No, not really, surprisingly, because I was still going to the practices. I was just being there, but I had no real end goal for it. I was just going to go. And so I ended up getting down to around 190, 189. So I wrestled that next year. 190, same thing. I'm not working as hard, and I'm just coasting, doing the bare minimum. And I don't have a great year again. I don't win a match until sectionals, and what's funny is sectionals...
And this is your sophomore year, right?
This is my sophomore year.
So the first time you win a match is in sectionals?
Sectionals my sophomore year, wrestling heavyweight, weighing 193, and I lose in the blood rounds to Sunnyside, heavyweight from Sunnyside.
Okay.
And I just remember, after that, Debo like telling me, "Man, I'm so proud of you." Like I remember everything perfectly, and it was just one of those kind of eye openers where okay, let's try to go for something here.
Yeah.
Like, I started really to fall in love with the sport. Where it's like, okay, let's try it. 2 years later, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna commit. Let's do it. So all summer long, I could prepare. I qualified for Fargo my first year qualifying.
Oh, what was that like going to Fargo your first year? Because that's like the Super Bowl of freestyle wrestling, man.
That was when I remember getting there, and that was even in like the Western regionals, like seeing those huge tournaments. It was like, whoa.
Was that kind of like the glory that you kind of were searching for a little bit?
Yes, but my mindset had very like really changed, especially now. Like it's been like this roller coaster of my perception of everything and how I think about stuff.
Yeah.
And especially because like leading up high school and stuff like that, my uncle and my dad were great athletes. That's what's funny too is they were really good athletes, amazing at soccer. They both played pro soccer in the U.S. Like when Tucson had their own pro team, like they were athletes. I never got into soccer. I remember being little, like maybe 6, 7 years old, and my dad putting me in a season of soccer, and that was it. I played that one summer, never played again. I hated running, and it was just, I don't know, like, what had drove me to get into wrestling, but I just remember my dad telling me, like, you got to do something.
Yeah.
We got to do something, right? You got to do something. So I get in there, I join, and, I go through all of that, but...
So did you have anyone, like, that's the difference. Did you have anyone other than your coaches helping you out with, like, just working out and wrestling or that, or was it just more what you were coming up with on your own?
So, because of my uncle and my dad being completely different, like they admitted it, which was like, we don't know how to coach you for this. Like, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
we could run you, but I mean, to actually like help you with all that stuff, like they never, especially them being older, like they didn't have to wait, none of that. So this is all new to me, and so everything I learned was from the DeBerries. So them coaching me, them kind of building me up.
Yeah, Corey and Debo.
Them building me up, and it's just like, so having to catch up, especially even now, like having to kind of catch up to kids who started, when they were 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
But I mean, after I finally started to commit myself, I started putting in extra work and all that stuff, but I still wasn't getting results.
Yeah.
And I was like, that hit me at Fargo, especially going 1-4 across both styles.
Dude, just the idea that you won one match, that's so huge.
Yeah, but it felt good, but it was one of the things that's like, I'm working hard and I'm getting better. I'm actually wrestling good matches with these better guys, but I'm not winning matches and I'm not.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I didn't realize there's a whole nother battle to it and it's all mental. So having to figure out, to mentally stay strong in matches, to even during training, like, it's that in itself is to me the biggest battle. Even now, it's still, like, it's the hardest battle.
So what was your mindset? Let me ask you this: we talk about like the mental part, because anything you do in life, if you have a strong mental ability, you're gonna make it. So what was your mental state of mind your freshman and sophomore year? Maybe let's say a little less than your sophomore year. What was the difference between when you switched to switch compared to what you were before?
So one of the biggest switches, and I remember this, is it was I think it was a preseason tournament going into my junior year, I think. No, I'm sorry. That sectionals, when I finally had won my first 3 matches that year, I think first 4 or 3. When I finally won those matches, and I remember them telling me how much they were like proud of me, Debo especially.
Yeah.
And even my pops, like me giving him a big hug and just all that stuff where it's like, I thought about like, man, I don't believe in myself, but all these guys believe in me.
Yeah.
And it was like, I got to do something with it.
Got to buy in.
Yeah, I got to buy into it. And so that was really the moment where I was like, okay, we gotta start working and getting after it.
Yeah.
And
brother, just real quick, if you just want to make sure you're scooted in that way you're still in the shot, brother.
Oh, like right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're saying some really good stuff, so I want to make sure we get it.
No, but so yeah, that big switch, and then, Fargo hits, and I have another little where I was like, okay, I'm talking to them, they're talking to my coaches, and they tell me how proud of me and stuff like that. But it's like, now the results matter to me. Before it didn't, but
Does that add a little bit more pressure to you now too, or?
necessarily now, not really. Where it's like I have a completely different outlook on all that stuff because I was getting ready for Fargo and stuff like that. I was thinking like I gotta go in there, be tough, all this. Like I gotta be a monster. Where it's just like for me personally, I've never been that way. I've never been like super aggressive, nothing like that. Like nothing like that. So even now, I've learned to just, for me, getting really hype has always not worked for me. Yeah. Like even this past, like going into my junior year, senior year, I used to listen to music before matches to try to hype myself up and try to lock into a match. I can't wrestle like that hype. I start making mistakes and I let my emotions get in really control of stuff. So learning how to just kind of be me necessarily and just wrestle calm, it's just at the end of the day, I had to think about it like it's just a wrestling match.
Yeah, there's the bigger picture at that.
Yeah, like it's just a wrestling match.
Yeah.
There is no expectation, which I had to tell myself, and because I talked to them, coaches and everything, because I'm like, man, like I'm hesitating, I'm afraid of matches and all that stuff, and they were just telling me you gotta let go and just wrestle, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what do you mean let go. Because obviously we're working towards the outcome. So now, and looking back now, it's really accepting it as it is, where it really is just a wrestling match. But it's like, it's not about winning or losing anymore for me. It's performing. How am I performing, Because every day I'm getting, my dad's putting all this effort to get me to practice and practicing twice a day. My coaches are taking this time out of the day when they could be doing, where it's like, you know what? Go out there and perform. Like,
just be full effort more than anything. Just
100%, and it's one of those things too where it's like the only expectation that I have for myself now, and even my coaches, is no one's gonna be disappointed in me, which was my biggest fear for a long time. Which I don't want to disappoint nobody. I was afraid, like I don't want anybody to be disappointed in me. I don't want to be a letdown. But what took all that pressure away is realizing no one's gonna be disappointed. No one's gonna mind if I'm giving 100% every single time. As long as I'm putting 100% effort, the outcome doesn't matter. Yeah. So with that new mindset into my matches, I started going into junior year. I actually started off, I took second at our first tournament, and I'm starting to pick up wins. So the progress is showing, but me at that time, I still couldn't let go of like every loss is like.
So okay, now it's eating on you every time you take a loss.
now it's eating on me, and it's.
You think in a good way where you're nervous about losing, or a bad way where you're thinking about losing again, like having this losing streak, or more so just staying in your system, like, oh F, I gotta work harder now.
It's more so in a bad way where it's like I'm losing, and I'm so worried about winning and losing where even in matches it's showing where like I'm hesitating.
Yeah.
I'm not firing off, and I'm so worried about the outcome that I'm making mistakes. Or even my coaches come afterwards and they tell me like, you gotta just wrestle, stop worrying about it. But my brain, like I just couldn't get over that, and I was like that for the longest time, and I was like, I'm never gonna get over this. Like it was getting to that point where like I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to let go. And what had helped me was I had started looking at interviews of people and everyone and just listening to what they have to say, and that's when I realized like. Everyone's journey is different, and it's different for everyone. So, for example, like some people could wrestle and they like that pressure. They like the pressure of the outcome. Like, I'm going to go out there and I can't do that. I have to go out there and be calm, where it's just like, let's just go out there, wrestle, have fun. And
like tunnel vision. You're not thinking about anything else. It's just that only.
100%. And so with that new mindset of it all, I had really starting to, so I'm getting in good matches, and I'm actually beating really good guys now. I'm starting to get ahead of these good guys.
Yeah. So what was the outcome of your junior year then?
So junior year, I qualified for state. I took third in my section, qualified for state.
Did you say you won your section or?
I took third.
Took third? Okay.
So I took third, and don't do good at state, go 0-2.
Oh, yeah. So what was that mindset after leaving state? Like you make it towards the pinnacle, but you get knocked out right away, because a lot of times people can do one or two things. They can either say, all right, I made it, that's it, that's the best I got, or you put your head down and work harder. What was going through your head? And honestly too, because I can admit there's some times where I was just like, yeah, I'm done with this too.
I remember telling Corey Corey DeBerry, I remember telling him, I'm gonna be back next year with the vengeance. Like I'm gonna be back and we're gonna work all summer. And I did. But my mindset was, okay, we got to work harder now. That's what it is. Because at that time, my junior year, I'm still only practicing once a day. I'm still being a little lazy. I'm not running all the time. I'm not doing the stuff I'm supposed to do. But it's like, all right, I get one more chance, one more opportunity. Let's go and do something. Let's really try to make something out of this. And so that was a new mindset, and I started really grinding. And every day in the summer, I'm going to practice, and then I started practicing sometimes twice a day, and it was just getting as much work in as I can.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that, but I still even started going into my senior year, where junior Fargo Western Regionals, it's still in my head of hesitating.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest battle that it took me forever to figure out, which is my body can do it, but my mind's telling me I can't.
Ooh, that's a lot of what people need to understand too, because we control so much just the way we think, man. We could hurt ourselves or we can help ourselves in those situations.
And it's one of those where it's like, I know I'm working harder than some of the people I'm losing to, but I'm not beating them on the mat. And it's it was like, I remember used to being like going home afterwards and just nonstop thinking about like, why is it not working out?
Yeah.
Like, is there something I'm doing wrong? So I started looking, started talking to my coaches more, opening up more about it, and even talking to my dad about it, because, even though it's a different sport, it's all athletes, I think, can understand that.
Yeah, we all got a similar mindset.
Yeah, and I think so. Talking to him about it, and talking to everyone, helping me figuring stuff out. But, so, I remember Western Regionals happens, okay. Have an okay Western Regional, I hurt my shoulder a little bit, but it's fine. I'm going to Fargo. We're getting ready for Fargo. We're going to Fargo, and I remember the week leading up to it.
Yeah. Hold that, brother. I got one of my timestamps right here. We're gonna enter the sponsorship break real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit pause, and we'll be right back.
We are Jet Sports Training, where our mission is to cultivate champions. This is where athletes come to get faster, and everyday people come to change their lives. This is not a gym, but a community. Come get jetted.
Take off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lot of y'all doubted on me. Now they like, wow, look how far you come. Legendary like all my idols, coming for it all, and I can't wait. Success just called and I got me a date. So I grabbed my ambitions and I'm on my way. Cross the wrong line and it's bad news. Might get burnt like a candle. We too hot to handle. World at my feet like a sandal. I only move when I plan to. Your moves could get canceled.
My name is Philip Aguilar.
Yes, sir. We don't fucking play. We don't fucking play. Out of the blue
Guys, this show is sponsored by one of my best friends, Erica Sanchez, who's with Brows with Erica. She is one of the best persons in business when it comes to getting your eyebrows done. Make sure you go check her out at 6050 North Oracle Road, Suite H.
Hey guys, I gotta tell you about one of the best Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu places out there, Nogales Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Make sure you go check them out if you're down in Nogales and say what's up to my homie Andy Behrens. All right, so we were talking about you doing podcasts and I lost where we're at. So you're talking about Fargo Western Regionals.
Okay. Western Regionals happens, not great. Same problem as always, and which is it's starting to it starts to eat away at me a little bit because it's like my coaches are telling me I'm doing so good, but in my mind, I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize progressing is at the end of the day the most important thing, I think, and I think that's the most everything.
Process over results.
Because I didn't understand it, but they kept telling me be patient. Be patient. Your time's gonna come. Just be patient. Trust in the process. Be patient. Yeah. So, me being kind of stubborn and me worrying so much about, I want to win. I'm like, I feel like I'm letting everyone down still, which is weird because everyone's telling me I'm not. But, me being stubborn and, overthinking it and just, I'm not believing it.
Yeah.
So leading up to Fargo, we're still working, and the week of, I remember being not really excited to go, but almost like dreadful a little bit. Like, did I do enough?
Yeah. Okay.
Asking myself,
Self-doubt.
Did I do enough? And I talked to Corey and Debo about it, and they tell me you're gonna be fine. You gotta be fine. You just gotta go out there and try.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fine. We get out there, we fly out there. First practice, I'm feeling good, and I remember first day weigh-ins, all that stuff. Everything goes good. Everything's going smooth. The morning of the tournament, first day of the tournament, I'm feeling great. I go out there my first match, and I get teched in a minute.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, where it's like,
what the hell? Like,
then
what were they talking about? This is what I was worried about, or something like that.
Coming off the mat, they even, like, Corey had told me, I look great. The kid I wrestled from Iowa, he was tough. Yeah. He was a really tough kid. But
I was wrestling. That's another level, man.
I know at the time, but me being, still kind of new. This is my only second Fargo ever.
Yeah.
Me kind of new. I mean, I haven't been out of the state too much before then. So me kind of now, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, and I'm even coming off the mat, and I'm like almost on the verge of tears, and it's only my first loss. And I'm like,
you had so many. I mean, you could have so many more matches after that too.
Which is what I didn't realize. Which is looking back, it's like I could laugh about it and look at it back now. Like I was so caught up in like that's what they were talking about. So caught up in the outcome of losing. So caught up in
like almost at the point where you're so scared of losing, you forget to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scared of losing and so afraid of making a mistake that I'm not trying anything. Like I'm losing. It's making me lose, which I didn't get. So I come off the match and, I'm on the verge of tears and Corey's talking to me and he's like, you look good. You're wrestling good. But he's like, you're still not firing off. You're still hesitating. And I still remember them always telling me they were proud of me, which subconsciously it was helping me. But me, still thinking about it, I'm like, proud of what? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, why? But I didn't understand. So I go 0-4 this year, my second year at Fargo. I go 0-4. Terrible tournament rest of the year. I'm like, I mean, as soon as we leave the dome, I'm in a better mood because I always try to, even since I was this talking about being on the mat and off the mat, I used to treat it as two different things where it's like, it has to be, for me, it has to be on an equal plane where I'm the same person on the mat as I am off the mat. You know, I'm calm, collected off the mat. I try to be funny, like try to be a good guy on the like, off the mat. But when I get on the mat, I'm just calm and collected, which is usually how I try to be. Calm and collected. And I wrestle better. So we're going to get after it now, which is, again, we're getting better. The progress is happening, and that's what's most important. And I'm like, okay. So I come back, keep practicing. Going into my senior year, I mean, I really started getting into more lifting, especially with Corey. I started really getting into powerlifting, which started to help me a lot. So all my weight started to go up, and I put on a little more muscle, but I'm starting to get really stronger, which is helping a lot.
And this is going to your senior year, right?
This is going to my senior year. So this past year, I'm feeling good and confident my senior year.
And let me ask you this. At what point does Williams start reaching out to you?
Honestly, they didn't reach out to me until after my senior year. Like, after it was all said and done.
So you had to wrestle your whole senior year not knowing if this was going to continue?
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, I was blessed in the sense I committed early, so I never had to go through that fear. And then I decommitted and recommitted again, but it was before my senior year. What was that like, knowing like you're basically fighting to keep your wrestling career still going? I
try not to worry. At the moment during the season and stuff, in the moment, I try not to worry about it. I was like, I'm not going to worry about the future. I'm just going to worry about what's happening right now.
Yeah, be in the present.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be present. But that was a real possibility of me not wrestling in college. And I was like, I want to. It's something I've wanted to since I started taking it seriously. I want to go and wrestle. I want to wrestle in college. And I want to keep trying to wrestle, keep going pretty much. Even after college, if I could wrestle a little bit after college, I will. If I can't, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it was coming to a point where I was like, okay, I might not go to college for wrestling. But I try not to let it like get to me where it was like, okay, let's focus in the moment. So preseason comes, still working, still grinding, and I'm feeling really good now. You know, I'm still a small 215, but I'm medium size now. My footwork and all that stuff, it's never been very good, but it's better than it was previously.
Everything's improving.
Improved.
You're peaking at the right time.
I thought I was doing great. First tournament comes, and that first day duel, I wrestle bad, like terrible. Like I go like 1-3. I don't qualify for the individual tournament.
Oh shit! Please tell me it wasn't William Bell.
It was William Bell.
Oh, William.
That's what I did. Yeah.
That's a tournament that's almost like anyone from Tucson. That's almost a guaranteed win.
Exactly.
But so, you know, I'll tell you what the craziest thing was seeing. Cause I covered that. And that's actually where we made you the athlete of the week. We saw Sunnyside's JV team freaking dominate, man. Mm-hmm. That was a crazy thing. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
So after that first day, I'm like shocked. I don't know what to do. I'm in tears, like all of it. And Debo and Corey talking to me, you're in your head, just let go. But tournament's already over for me. So I'm like, next week, Skyline. It's next week, Skyline. I'm going to worry about
Skyline's a good program too, isn't it?
Is
it a tournament or is it a program?
It's a tournament.
Okay.
So next week, we're wrestling at Skyline tournament. That's what I'm worried about. No, I'm sad.
Did he make you stay to watch the individual tournament afterwards, or was he like, you're good to go?
I had to stay, come support the team, which I was fine with.
That's that's a good move just on coaching and you as well.
Which, I supported everyone this last year, and I love my teammates, so of course I was going to do it, but I will not lie, being there, it sucked. Yeah. So that whole first day, I'm kind of cracking, I'm trying to crack jokes, whatever, but I'm in a bad mood. I don't want to be there. I'm still sad, bummed about the last day. I'm taking a nap outside of their camp. Corey comes, wakes me up, splashes water in my face, says, hey, one of the Sunnyside 215 got DQ'd. You're in.
Oh wait, for William Bell.
For William Bell,
so you got brought back in.
So he's like, you're in. You're the next one up. You're in.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'm just happy to be back in comp. Where the first time I was like, I don't care if I lose. I go 0-2 again. I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it. Let's just go out there and wrestle. I wrestle on it. I end up taking second. I beat everyone I lost.
That's awesome.
I beat everyone I lost to, even the kid who beat me the day before.
Yeah. Did you lose to the kid against? I think he was from Cienega. I know their 215 was pretty good.
He was. I wrestled him later in the year at South Point, and I was respect to him, props to him, great guy. Cool guy off the mat too. Good wrestler, real tall. I was beating him, and then he hits me with a nice throw, puts me in the back, and I was winning. I think 4-1 at the end of the match, like the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And I get caught in a throw. I get put to my back. He's up by like 2-1.
Oh, shoot.
So it's like I lose, but...
I'm having their heavyweight coach on pretty soon, too.
Really?
So, yeah, Angel Gonzalez.
Yeah, but great guy. So I ended up taking second at William Bell. I beat everyone previously I had lost to. And that was the first time, I think, in my entire high school career where I had no pressure in any match.
Yeah.
No nerves.
You're playing on house money already.
I was just like, I'm going to just go out there and have fun. And I wrestled, like, better than I ever wrestled before up to that point.
Awesome.
And I go out there and I beat the kid from South Point who had beat me previously. He had beat me in overtime the day before. I go out there and I beat him like 13-1, 12-1. Yeah, great match. I'm wrestling good. My coaches are like, what's happening? Like, why don't you wrestle like that all the time?
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. It's going to, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited about next week. So we're getting ready for Skyline. Skyline comes. We're at Skyline. I make it to the quarters in day one. I lose to a kid from Mountain View Mesa. I think he was a 2-seed or 1-seed. We had a great match overtime again.
Ooh, overtime, nice.
Great match. I'm bummed about it, but it's like, hey, let's get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I lose my next match.
So that was kind of the switch with you for your mindset then, right? Once you had that kind of going on, if you think for your senior year, did you kind of just start playing like if you were at house money every single time?
Senior year was like a roller coaster. It was the weirdest year for me mentally. It was the biggest roller coaster.
What was the most down you ever were? What did you do to come back up? Because you had success, man. Like what we talked about, you won your section. Talk about what was the down point of it and how did you get out of it?
My biggest down point, I think, was that tournament in Skyline, where Skyline was the tournament before Mile High, correct?
Yeah.
Skyline was, I think, the biggest down point for me this past season, and I think it hit me the hardest because I'd wrestle the quarters day 1, lose, I'm wrestling day 2, whatever. We're gonna wrestle back, go for third.
Yeah.
I wrestle, come back, wrestle that first match day 2. I wrestle like garbage, but
It does sound like a roller coaster a little bit.
yeah, but I win the match, and it's like next one. But part of me in my head, like my body feels tired, my mind's kind of out of it. Like I'm going back to where, oh my God, I got to win this next one.
Yeah.
Which is where I messed up. So I lose next one. I'm out of the tournament, no placement, and and that was the last time. Which funny note, that was the last time I listened to music warming up for a tournament.
And that's where you found out like no music or anything like that.
Just that that was the when I realized I can't wrestle. Not me. Like I can't be a different person on the mat, which is the weirdest thing in the world because coaches all preach it. You got to be like this animal, this monster on the mat, and it's going to come, and you got to go out there and go for them. I can't do that.
Opposite. I need to calm, collected.
I can't. That's when I realized I can't do this. And Debo was the one to tell me that. He's like, no more music, no more nothing like that. And I said, okay. I was in tears, but I was like, okay, we're going to do it. So that was the last time I remember throwing away the headphones there. I was just like, I'm not even going to do it. I don't want to see them. Nothing. Yeah. I remember really 2 girls got in the finals at Skyline. You know, Zeke had a great tournament. He's in the finals. Henry in the finals too. Great. They all wrestled great. And I remember looking at them and like, I'm never not going to be there with them again.
Yeah. So that's where you kind of put your foot down.
Because they had been there. They had some of like, I was so proud of them, but I'm like, they're figuring it out. I'm going to follow like them. That's who I'm looking up to now.
I mean, that's a great teammate, too, because now you just see by them leading by example. Like, there's no, like, sometimes people, especially in high school, they can see that as jealousy. They can get envy of them. But you did it totally opposite. You took it like, hey, I want to be just like them because what they're doing.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Part of me wanted to be jealous of them, where it's like, why isn't that me out there? Like, why isn't that me? I'm working just as hard, if not harder, in my mind. Why is that not me? Yeah. And then I realized, why am I talking to myself like why am I thinking this way? Because they wouldn't do that to me.
Yeah.
Like they supported me every match. I told myself no. I'm gonna go up there and it's gonna be all of us up there. Like it's just gonna be us as a team. Yeah. So after that thing, Skyline happens. Yeah, we're getting ready for Mile High, I think in 2 weeks. And whole new mindset now. I'm just having fun. I let go of all the losses. Even in practice, as we're drilling and stuff like that, you know, little breaks in the action I'll keep the moving and the pace high, but I'm talking a little bit. And me and my drill partner, we're having I'm making it, you know, just having fun, training, working, where to the point where I didn't realize, which Ame Elo, I love this quote she has. She says, if what you're doing makes you hate what you're doing, stop doing it.
Oh, shoot.
And I took that, after I heard that, I was like, for me, that works. Because I started to really, really love training, more than it before.
Fell in love with the process.
100%. And to the point where it's every day to me was just great if I could train and I could go out there and do. So I'm loving every bit of it. We go to Mile High. I have a great tournament, get in the finals. I lose, but it's whatever. I'm wrestling good. And then, Zeke, what was the tournament after Mile High?
After Mile High was Flowing Wells.
Flowing Wells.
Ooh, the big one.
Big one, Flowing Wells. Go out there. And
yeah, what did you end up doing in Flowing Wells?
I lost in blood rounds.
Blood rounds. So you didn't place in that one?
No, to a kid from I don't know if it was, I think Texas.
Yeah. So
I lose to a kid from Texas, really big, really cool guy, big kid, tall.
Yeah, because some people say that tournament's tougher than state, man. Cause I've had it one of my teammates when I was wrestling. His name was Kayshawn. I don't know if you heard the name before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Kayshawn.
big
Great
freaking
guy.
Football player.
Super athletic.
Yeah, never knew how to wrestle, but he was just athletic.
Awesome.
But he went 56 and 1 that year when he won state, and the only loss he had was Flowing Wells.
Flowing Wells, tough tournament, and I knew that, but yeah, I think in terms of Flowing Wells and state, I think the two battles are different because Flowing Wells, again, it's just another tournament, you know, but at the end of the year, the more impactful one is state.
Yeah, people are going to remember the state championship. Yeah. But I just think because with that is you have so many other schools from Texas New Mexico. I remember there was one year they had Cleveland there. Let's go from over there. So I think that's why it makes it so big. And we talk about tournaments that are like that. You had a lot of success your senior year in sectionals. Let's hear that, because I love what we've done. We've kind of gone over your whole career, and I want to go back a little backwards into your freshman year. You talked about not ever doing a sport. Now you're going into your senior year, your sectionals, and you have more success than the majority of people would ever have. What was that tournament like? What was different from all the other tournaments? Because now you're stepping into this maybe for the last time ever if you don't make state, because you like you told me, Williams wasn't looking at you until after your state. So what was going through your head, and how did you get through it? Because that does not seem like an easy task for anyone.
It's going to sound weird, but I was just super grateful to be there. I was like, you know what? If I don't go to state, I can look back. Even now, I can look back and smile and not regret a single thing.
That's awesome.
If I could change anything in my journey, I wouldn't change a thing. Because if that didn't happen, if any of that stuff didn't happen, I wouldn't be who I am right now. So even at sectionals, that was the same thing. Like, I was just happy to be there. I was just
That's
like,
awesome. It makes everything easier doing it that way.
Yeah, I was just like, let's just go out there, let's have fun and wrestle. And that was the absolutely best I've wrestled across 4 years with that sectionals. Going there, I won my first match pretty soundly, second match pretty soundly. My finals match, this kid had pinned me the first 45 seconds at Skyline. He's the one who put me out of the tournament. I had beat him because I knew, goes to Desert Vista, kid fast, strong, explosive, good technique. Like, good. It's all around good. Like, on paper, better than me in every way.
Yeah.
But Debo and Corey had told me, and they were like, okay, he's faster than you, he's more explosive, and he's strong. We got to make it a long match. And I said, okay. So I go out there and I try to make it the most grind match ever, where it's just like I'm trying to wear down every limb, where like I may not score, but every shot he takes and he doesn't score, which I made sure he's not going to score, but every shot has to be like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Because it's... So
Make him pay for anything. It's like that Rocky movie, like when he's Rocky 6, when he's just building up that punching power.
Exactly.
Every time he does it, he's gonna make him pay for it.
Exactly, where it's like, so we're both trying stuff, and it's a dogfight match, and it goes to overtime. It's tied 0-0 still. None of us have been able to score. So 0-0. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 1-1. We got one escape each. 1-1. And I remember, okay, this is it. Like, let's keep it going. But now it's time where like we're both tired, but which respect to him, he had never wrestled a match that long because he had been so used to beating everyone so quickly.
Yeah,
that's like, okay, he's more taxed than I am, which means, he started to get a little sloppy on stuff. Which Corey and Debo, they told me, he's going up high on his collar now. He's getting lazy, standing tall. You got to take the shot. You got to go.
Yeah.
And I say okay, and I feel it in the last, I think like 15 seconds of overtime before like.
Oh, it's another overtime match.
Yeah, I was like, last 15 seconds of overtime, I feel him go up. I take a shot and I take him down, and that's it. I win the match, but it was one of those that's like, I'm going into state as the 4th seed. I beat a kid who I previously just got pinned like in 30 seconds.
Yeah. So you see like how we talked about. You said you didn't see the growth that was happening. Like, where is that? Was that like one of the first moments you're like, all right, trust the freaking process at this point because it's coming along?
Absolutely. Ever since that point, I've been like, win or lose, as long as I'm progressing, I'll be patient. It doesn't bother me because I'm going to just keep progressing. Because be patient, my time will come. This was what I started to believe, which I fully believe in it now.
Yeah, and your time's coming. So what was the end result in state?
1 and 2.
1 and 2?
I had wrestled, beat the kid from Chandler. I'm in the quarters. I have a really close match. I lose by a point. And then what had happened at state was the number 1 seed, or the number 1 or number 2 seed, had gotten upsetted.
Oh,
so
shoot.
I'm wrestling him that second round of consolations. And again, I get another nail biter where it's like, my inability to put offense together and score, it cost me those matches, which looking back at the time, or during the moment, heartbroken. It's like...
Yeah, so once state was over, were you thinking your career was over too? Or were schools kind of starting lining up to get you for college?
No schools have really looked at me then. So
Oh, sure.
guess.
So so that kind of brings back the question. Like, did you think it was over?
No, because we still had Fargo in Utah, and I'd said we're gonna go make this a great Utah and a great Fargo. Let's just go.
Yeah.
So
I like how we keep talking about everything comes together because your mindset changed right there. Like, what's next?
That's what it was. It was like my journey's not over. Yes, this chapter of high school wrestling is over, but I still got freestyle, Greco, and it's like let's go and try something, man. So I go and we go and we're grinding, we're working, and I'm really working with Corey a lot more. I'm doing 2 practices a day. Like,
ooh, that's I wrestled Corey a couple times my freshman year. I didn't like any part of that. He's a freaking great wrestler.
Oh man, he's the one who helped me figure out like how important wrestling, like your own style is. Because up until that point, I had tried to copy other people. Like, okay, I need to be faster. No, I need to be. No, throw it out the window. I'm gonna wrestle like me.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm just gonna go out there and wrestle like me.
And that's what got you to this point of going to college. Let's finish off with this. What was that moment like when you signed your letter of intent? When you finally put it all to bed that you're going to college? What was that moment like for you? Knowing that all the ups, the downs, like you said, the roller coaster ride of your senior year, what was it like signing that piece of paper, knowing that your journey is going to continue?
It was like, I remember it getting there and I was being kind of like, I got emotional for me in my head because I'm thinking like, this is it. Like, I'm going to college to wrestle, but not only that, I'm getting an education.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this is all those times, which at the time I was regretting my freshman, sophomore year. Like, I wish I would have took it serious then.
Yeah.
And really worked as hard as I could. Because, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to college. But I'm looking at this little piece of paper where it's like, I could sign right there. It has all my stuff on it. And I'm just like,
you did it.
This is my second opportunity where it's like, I'm not going to waste this like I did those first 2 years. Where it's like, I get another chance here.
Yeah.
And this isn't going to happen again.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's incredible. We'll definitely keep in touch, man. Like I said, with the show, we can do virtual interviews. So maybe before your first match or your first practice, we'll interview both you guys. So this will be 2 different shows. And I just want to thank you guys for both coming on. You can get back in the shot real quick, brother. And this is one I'll post with a thumbnail. But yeah, guys, I just want to thank you both for coming on the show. Hey, good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
You got any shout-outs too, bro?
Oh, I just want to shout out my family, my dad especially, for being there the whole time. The DeBerrys, of course, for always believing in me and working with me. All my teammates along the way, who without them, honestly, I don't think it'd be possible. Even just, oh man, I'm so grateful for everything.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys for being on. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. We might be having someone on that's close to Tucson High Wrestling too.
Okay.
Used to. All right. Love you guys.